Hello YouTube, De-bodgery here. Welcome to EV Components Review. On the bench is the Torp controller. This is a TC500, and I thought I'd give you a quick overview of the thing and what I have discovered so far about Torp and their controller. So anyway, you get it in this little box. Nothing real special about that. Very cheap. Inside is a little bag of hardware, so you've got screws that go in these, a couple Allen wrenches and a couple of mounting screws. You've got a couple of Torp stickers, and you get the controller, and you get a wiring harness, and the controller was inside this little protective sleeve, and then you get this dismal manual. I will just expose myself right up front because I believe in transparency and honesty. This is vastly inadequate for a manual in any way, shape, or form. You can go on their website and they have a PDF there, which does give you more detail, but again, it's vastly inadequate. Folks, I don't like Torp, okay? I'm going to explain why here in a minute, but yeah, as far as the company is concerned, they are really controlling. They will demand that you use their products in their way, and that's the only way they will support them. Yeah, I've already run into that, and I will talk about that. So, first of all, this is a massively inadequate installation document, and their online PDF is also massively inadequate. So, you literally don't get any more information about wiring than that in either manual. I'm just going to say that there are one or two wires here that you have neglected to include in your documentation. And in fact, when you ask Torp what all these wires do, they will refuse to tell you. I know because I have tried multiple times. Furthermore, they will ask you, do you have a Surron? And if not, they just don't support you. And I don't have a Surron, and I probably never will. It's not my EV of choice, and there happens to be tens of thousands of other options. And yet Torp insists that you use their controller on only a Surron, and if you try to use it on anything else, they will simply refuse to support you, which is exactly what I have discovered. So anyway, everything here, this is all very standard inputs and outputs off of a controller. There is nothing particularly special about a Surron, obviously so, because, well, everybody else on the planet can make controllers that work with them too, and they're just an EV, that's all there is to it. Motor controller, wiring is something that is pretty universal as far as what you'll find in these kind of connectors. So yeah, Torp, you refusing to tell us what those wires actually do is really stupid and obnoxious on your part. What you should do, Torp, is tell the world what they are rather than forcing us to have to go find the wiring diagram for a Surron so we can back engineer what these wires are, because all you've done is pissed off a new customer of yours. Torp, I wanted to like you because, well, I have a friend who likes you, and so I did too. But the truth of the matter is, you guys have your heads so far up your own asses that you cannot tell us anything. Your control issues are so huge, so massive, that you refuse to give this very basic information to one of your customers. All I can say, Torp, is that you have instantly guaranteed that I don't like you, and that I'm going to tell the world that I don't like you and why I don't like you. So this was right off the bat, a serious point of piss off Richard. Just don't tell him anything. I don't like KO Moto because they make crappy products, and their people are predatory and they just practice character assassination. So yeah, I don't like them for those reasons. Their hardware is terrible. They're full of quality issues. I can't tell you about this, and I'll get to this in a minute. But I can tell you their customer service is just horrendous. Torp customer service, this is inadequate. Their online documentation is inadequate. Refusing to tell you what the wires are in their connector cable, that's massively not acceptable, Torp. Yeah, I'm just going to call you what you are. You're a bunch of control freaks. All right, so let's talk about this right here. So here's the controller. As you can see, it's quite small. Vesks are a similar size to this, equally energy dense. At least is with a Vesk, you can take those all apart and you can see everything. They don't want you to do that here at all. So when I knock on here, you can hear it's solid. And knock on this side, same thing. It's very solid. And this is a little brick. It's very dense, very heavy, you know, for, for how big it is. Yeah, and once again, they do not want you to know what those pins do. Flat out do not. Okay, so this is another reason why I don't like Torp. This is not a lid. This is not a cover. This is none of those things. I mean, this is all aluminum, and that's all very nicely done. Can't really fault that. They've got a nice connector on here. I'm sure that's going to hold up quite nicely. You know, this end here, it's got a silicone sealer on here, so it's probably going to do a pretty decent job of being waterproof. And then they have sealed up inside all of these, which you can see like little sprues sticking out there. So probably this is going to be fairly waterproof. And in fact, they even have a sticker on this side here that says IP67 on it. Well, I believe them. I believe them. This is probably going to be IP1000. And the reason why I say that is because, well, when Torp makes these controllers, you basically have this aluminum shell on here, and then they take this whole thing and stick it in a mold, stand it up like this, and close it all up, and then they pour potting in here. So this is not a plastic cover on here or some other kind of lid. Literally, that's potting right there. You can see where I've been tapping on it with an X-Acto knife, because this stuff is hard as a rock. Yep. So they pour it in there. They probably found the hardest potting they possibly could, and that's it. So yeah, you literally have zero, and when I say zero, I mean flat out zero serviceability here. Your ability to look inside the controller or anything like that is pretty damn low. Yeah, this is every possible attempt made that we can come up with to ensure that you cannot see inside our controllers. And Torp has done it. I thought ASI was bad about it. You know, all the potting that's like inside a far driver controller, that's a pain in the neck too. No, this is a pain in the neck on a whole new level. So yeah, Torp, once again, I don't like you guys. You refuse to support your own cabling harness, refuse to give out obvious and easily available information from other sources, and you could too, but you just don't want to, because you want to control how people use your controllers. In fact, if somebody doesn't have a SIR on, you guys refuse to support them. You guys suck, okay, Torp? You suck. And then you do this too. You make it so that your controllers are absolutely not serviceable in any way, shape, or form. Make it impossible to get inside one. It's not impossible, trust me, I will get in. But yeah, this is designed in every way possible way to control their exposure and how the public can possibly see their controllers in any way, shape, or form. They don't want you to know what these wires are, because that's called control. We decide what it is that you can do when you can do it. And if you don't have a SIR on, they will not support this hardware, okay? They just won't. I already know this as fact. I have tried and tried and tried. And then to do this kind of stuff, literally pot everything as one solid brick like this, that's about control. That's about we don't want you to know what's inside the case. Guess what, folks? We're going to take it apart anyway. So anyway, yeah, Torp, I don't like you guys. I think you are worse, or yeah, you're definitely worse than ASI for the control factor, by a long shot. But we're going to still see what's inside here. If it's good quality or bad quality, we're going to know. So, folks, look forward to another video coming out soon once I get this bad boy depotted. This has got to go in the oven to soften all that potting so I can start pulling it away. I want to do it without damaging the controller. I would really like to run it. You know, I did pay a lot of money for this thing with my money. So yeah, I want to take it apart. I want to get all the potting off of it, and then I want to be able to run it after the fact. So I'm going to try to be really careful with this thing in depotting it, and hopefully I will succeed. Anyway, expect more videos coming on this thing. We're going to get it taken apart, and Torp, we're going to show all of your glory or lack thereof, whether you want it done or not.